Hello, I'm a mental health educator. I make mental health education videos. Today, we're talking about how to stop negative thoughts from intruding into your day. So, let's get started. There are 3 primary ways that we can stop negative thoughts from intruding into our day. The first is to utilize cognitive behavioral techniques to reshape our thinking patterns. The second way is to use behavioral activation to reduce rumination. And the third thing we can do is to use mindfulness skills to detach from intrusive negative thoughts. The foundation of the first strategy is to reshape our thinking patterns. We have to utilize cognitive restructuring to identify what negative thoughts are getting triggered throughout the day so that we can restructure them and reduce their impact on us. To do this effectively, we need to learn about the different types of cognitive distortions that occur in depression. These are patterns of thinking that are overgeneralized, inaccurate, and unhelpful. Some common ones are all or nothing thinking, mind reading, catastrophizing, labeling, discounting the positive, focusing on the negative, fortune telling, and assuming the worst. If you want to learn more about cognitive distortions, I have a video on this topic, which will be linked in the description box below. Once you've learned the common cognitive distortions, you can start identifying if they're present in your negative thoughts. To do this, you ask yourself some questions such as, is there evidence for and against this thought? What would I say to a friend who had this thought? Am I holding on to any absolutes, like always or never? And am I making any assumptions? Once you've identified the cognitive distortions in your negative thoughts, you then challenge them using evidence. You write down the evidence for and against the negative thought. This helps you to see the thought more clearly and reduces the likelihood that you'll believe it and act on it. So let's look at an example of negative thoughts intruding into your day. Let us say you work in an open concept office and someone you know that well comes up to your desk to chat. You may think, maybe they want something from me. In that moment, you feel disrespected because you're reworking and you think that your coworker is being rude by interrupting you. Your thoughts may spiral into the future where you imagine your career being negatively impacted because people do unrespect you. You might even label yourself as incompetent or unworthy. If left unchecked, these thoughts could lead to you becoming anxious and overwhelmed, which could lead to you ruminating about the situation long after your coworker has left. If you were to use the cognitive restructuring technique, you would pause and ask yourself some questions. For instance, is there evidence for and against my thoughts? There is no evidence that your coworker meant to disrespect you. In fact, you haven't really known this person for very long, and they could just be friendly. What would I say to a friend who had this thought? You wouldn't say, you're not worthy of respect. Instead, you would encourage them to consider that maybe the coworker was just being friendly. Am I holding on to any absolutes, like always or never? No, it's not always bad when coworkers come up to talk to you. Sometimes it can be nice to socialize. And am I making any assumptions? Yes, I'm assuming that they are being rude without asking or considering another explanation. After asking yourself these questions, you may realize that your negative thoughts are based on a misunderstanding. Your coworker probably didn't mean to disrespect you. They may have just been trying to be friendly. Once you've challenged your negative thoughts, they become less impactful, and you can go back to your workday feeling calm and focused. The next strategy to prevent negative thoughts from intruding into your day is to engage in behavioral activation. When we ruminate, we often focus on the past and replay past events in our minds. We might focus on what we should have said or done differently, or dwell on mistakes that we made. Behavioral activation helps us move forward by engaging us in the present moment. It works because when we're focused on the future and working towards goals, we're less likely to focus on the past and what we could have done differently. An easy way to implement behavioral activation is to set small, achievable goals for each day. These goals can be anything that you want to accomplish. Focus on doing 1 or 2 things each day rather than overwhelming yourself with too many goals at once. This helps you to build momentum and stay motivated. The more goals that you achieve, the easier it becomes to focus on the present and move forward instead of dwelling on the past. One way that I help my clients with this is by having them use a daily planner. A daily planner helps you to stay organized and on track. It also helps you to prioritize tasks and manage your time effectively. Here are some tips for using a daily planner. Start by setting your daily goals. Write down 2 or 3 things that you want to accomplish that day. Prioritize your tasks. Write down all of the tasks that you need to do that day and rank them in order of importance. Schedule your tasks. Block out time in your day for each task. Be sure to schedule in breaks as well. Review your planner regularly. Take a few minutes each day to review your planner and make any necessary adjustments. Reward yourself when you complete a goal. This can be something small, like taking a break or watching your favorite show. Over time, you'll start to notice that you're more productive and less likely to dwell on the past. The final strategy that we're going to discuss today is to use mindfulness skills to detach from negative thoughts. Mindfulness involves paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It helps us to detach from our thoughts and observe them without reacting. We can practice mindfulness through formal meditation or informal practices like mindful breathing. Here is an example of how to use mindful breathing to stop negative thoughts from intruding into your day. Let's say that you're driving to work and you get stuck in traffic. In that moment, you may feel frustrated and start to think negative thoughts like, "This is so unfair. I'm going to be late. I'm such a loser." If you notice that you're having these thoughts, you can use a mindful breathing exercise to stop them. Take a deep breath in and out. Notice the physical sensations of breathing. Pay attention to the rise and fall of your chest and stomach. As you breathe, let go of any tension in your body. Once you've calmed down, you can assess the situation and decide how to move forward. Maybe you can take a different route, or maybe you just need to accept that you're going to be late. Either way, you'll be able to handle the situation more effectively once you've stopped having negative thoughts. Mindfulness has been shown to be effective in reducing negative thoughts and improving overall well-being. Here's why. Mindfulness helps us to detach from our thoughts. We learn that our thoughts are just thoughts, and we do not have to believe them or act on them. It improves our ability to regulate emotions. We become better at managing our emotional reactions and less likely to become overwhelmed by negative emotions. It enhances our self-awareness. We become more aware of our thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations. This awareness allows us to make conscious choices about how we want to think and feel. To practice mindfulness, start by finding a quiet place where you won't be interrupted. Sit or lie down in a comfortable position. Close your eyes and focus on your breath. Notice the physical sensations of breathing. Pay attention to the rise and fall of your chest and stomach. As you breathe, let go of any tension in your body. Don't judge yourself for getting distracted. Just keep bringing your attention back to your breath. You may also want to try using a guided meditation. There are many free guided meditations available online and on apps like YouTube and Insight Timer. I hope that these strategies help you to stop negative thoughts from intruding into your day. Remember that it takes time and practice to change our thinking patterns and habits. But with commitment, we can learn to manage our negative thoughts and live a more positive and fulfilling life. Thanks for watching. See you soon.